Hey guys, it's your boy here, Dark Raikou here with another what if video because I can't stop thinking of fucking what ifs because I'm a retard. No, I'm just kidding. But there's actually two what ifs I actually want to do. One is actually going to be a crossover with Bleach. So yeah, I mean, also almost it is like kind of crossover with Bleach, but not the point. Pretty much this one is pretty much just a redo. Well, not this what if in January. Mostly another what if is a redo of what if Issei was the reincarnation of Ichigo Kurosaki, because I want to redo that one. Pretty much just remake it entirely, and also title, thumbnail, and all that other stuff. Pretty much it's just called What If Issei is a cousin of Ichigo Kurosaki. They're cousins through mostly mom and dad, but yeah. Yes, Issei is going to be a Quincy in that one. He also is going to be a Soul Reaper. He's going to get his hollow powers later. Not through the same kind of way that mostly Ichigo got it, but yes. And also, Issei, he's not going to get his hollow power, not hollow powers, Soul Reaper powers the same way as Ichigo kind of did. Well, kind of. Not through Rukia. But yeah. Now, we'll see Mikahiro. I don't want to spoil it, but I already have a thing. I already have a plan for mostly the Hyoto family, mostly the name, and mostly. Yeah, okay, never mind. I don't want to really spoil it because I do have an idea. I literally wrote it down. I wrote down the whole fucking story. I think that's called scripting. Well, pretty much for me, it's just called remembering. But yeah, don't worry about it. I also have the two swords and the names of Issei's, mostly Zanpakutos. Now, of course, they're also mostly their spiritual forms. And yeah. Also, I should mention that he has kind of 3 levels of Bankai, but don't worry. Similar to that of Byakuya, now that I think about it. But not the point. No, damn it. I'm fucking... Yeah, never mind. So, let me begin here into this what if. So, this is called What If Issei Was a Reincarnation of Byakuya. I forgot his last name. But I was watching Bleach yesterday, basically just watching it until it became like 2 o'clock. And so I just decided to, you know what, fuck it, I'll make a what if today. When I woke my ass up at like 10 o'clock. Yeah. My sleep schedule is now wrong. Again. Even worse. Oh, damn it. Never mind. Let me begin into this what if and yeah. Now, let me begin into this what if. Yay! Whatever. Let me begin. Okay, sorry. Shut the fuck up, Dark Raikou. Okay, so yeah. I should also mention before I go on, I know someone did comment kind of like yesterday or in one of the videos saying, I sound like Lord Potato because I am. Literally, I am. But Lord Potato is basically my first channel, my main channel, and this is my secondary channel, Dark Raikou. I even said, well, in Lord Potato in my first channel, I usually kind of make 2 characters. One is a potato, like literally mostly being God over all the what ifs, and one is a God Slayer being Dark Raikou. But yeah. So, yeah. Not the point. I see 2 versions of myself, but don't worry about that. So, yeah. Sorry. Let me begin. So, we begin into mostly the rescue with what's it called Asia Argento, and Asia Argento become the sister of Issei Hyoto. Now, when Issei kind of saw his sister, his new sister figure, literally die in front of him thanks to Rainier, he just snapped. He literally snapped. He realized that being a pervert is useless as hell. It's not going to help him. It's not going to protect his new sister figure, being Asia Argento. So, of course, he wants to protect Asia Argento. Mostly, well, Asia. Or, yeah, Asia. But, yeah. So, of course, this is where Issei kind of snapped. He threw out all his, like, what's it called? Just mostly, what's it called? His 18 plus magazines, everything, mostly everything out. He mostly kind of just sold it all. The reason why is because those things are kind of useless. And they might kind of dirty his, like, sister's kind of, like, very, mostly dirty her mind. Who was very kind and gentle and other stuff. And he doesn't want any of that to kind of ruin her innocence. So, of course, he threw all that away. So, of course, Issei, when he was throwing everything away and figuring out how to train, memories started just popping up into his head, making him have a headache. This is where Issei didn't understand. Issei really didn't understand this. He got memories of a person with black hair, always with a cold look. a very cold look. Always following the rules. But the one thing that he noticed was a girl always next to him, mostly a younger girl. Looks to be kind of similar height of, well, mostly Asia. This is where, well, Issei kind of remember her name a little bit. But of course, mostly called her sister. This is where, well, Issei didn't understand this, but he knew what to do. He knew what to actually do. This is where Issei went into a clearing. Mostly, it wasn't what to call school today, and of course, he didn't need to go to, well, the house, because the house is already kind of night. It's already dark. And of course, this is where, well, it's already dark. A bunch of things happened when Asia did go to school. She did kind of get harassed, which did piss him off. But of course, this is where, well, he wanted to kick the shit out of them, but he knew he was too weak still. So of course, this is where, well, when it was kind of dark and when Asia went to sleep, and of course his family went to sleep, he kind of just got out of his house. Basically, jumped in through the window. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei went into a clearing in the forest. This is where, well, it was kind of next to a church, but not really. It was kind of near some hills. This is where, well, mostly Drake is asleep, so of course Drake doesn't know about this. Because, well, Issei's still too weak to actually unlock his full power. So yeah. But this is where Issei said, this is where, well, something started building up around Issei right now. This is where it was some kind of like bluish aura. But it wasn't bluish, it was kind of pinkish a little bit. This is where Issei was concentrating. Concentrating a lot. A lot more than ever he'd done in his life. He concentrated so much that everything around him started shaking. Started kind of just cracking the ground. This is where no one else could feel this unless they use the same energy and they know about the energy that Issei is using. This is where Issei right now puts his hand right in front of him. And this is where, well, he didn't just imagine. When I imagine, he mostly called out to a name. A name that mostly something appeared. This is where, well, something appeared right in front of him. A sword. This is where he grabbed the sword. Of course, this is where he picks it up. Well, mostly it was floating in midair, but he just grabs him, like brings it towards him. This is where Issei said, I see. So you are. This is where, well, he decides to name out the sword's name. So you're my Zanpakuto Senban Zakada. This is where, well, mostly a spirit actually appeared right in front of Issei. But it was only a ghost figure. It wasn't actually true transparent. And actually you can see the figure closely. It was too blurry at the same time. This is where, well, the spirit right now looks at him. Bows down towards Issei. And says, hello there. Reincarnation of Byakuya Kuchiki. Or blah, let me actually remember how to. Kuchiki. This is where, well, Issei now knows the name of, well, his past, mostly past life. Byakuya Kuchiki. Or Kuchiki. I don't know how to say his last name, okay? I'm fucking it up more than ever. But this is where, well, Issei said, I see. So, you're my Zanpakuto, and I now got the memories of who I am. I see. Then I must train. I must train to gain back the power that I lost. That I lost from my past life. I am too weak. I cannot even see my own Zanpakuto's true spirit. I'm really too weak. I lost everything. I am really too weak in this life. So, I will now train. This is where, well, we go into a time skip of a couple days every night of Issei doing this. Now, of course, Issei kind of looks more sleep deprived, but he doesn't show it. He doesn't show he's sleep deprived in school. This is where, well, instead he has such an emotionless look that actually scares some people. But some girls think it's kind of amazing. This is where, well, Issei doesn't care in what people think. He doesn't care at all. This is where, well, Issei's hair has also become kind of darker. Instead of being a brownish color, it started becoming darker brown. And much more darker every time. But yeah, Issei has been nothing but training to get faster, stronger. Mostly faster because he's wanting to do some flash stuff. But yeah, because flash stuff is helpful as hell to just get to school. But this is where, well, he's getting faster and stronger. Training with also his Zanpakuto. Using its first stage of Zanpakuto, mostly Shinki state, or how you say that fucking name? Is Shinkai? Yeah, no, not Shinkai. Mostly so yeah, Shikai. This is where, well, He actually knows the first basic of Shikai, but don't worry about that. If you know what his first stage for Byakuya, then you know that he's kind of already broken. But don't worry about that. I should also mention he did train with his kind of Ryatsu, but yeah. And if you don't know what Ryatsu is, it's spiritual pressure. Mostly he has trained with it a little bit, but has a good understanding because of all the memories that he's been getting. Every time he got a stronger memory started flooding into his head. Getting more and more memories of his past life. Being able to piece every piece together about his past life. But yeah, this is where, well, he also has become much more overprotective with, well, Azia. And just Azia, because Azia is basically his little sister figure. And when his parents say that Azia is basically his wife, it just pisses off Issei. Because it pretty much, he doesn't see Azia as a wife at all. No, he sees her nothing but a little sister. Just a little sister. He doesn't care. He just sees her as a little sister. So yeah. So it's pretty much, it's better for Azia to just call him brother instead of, well, Issei or something like that. He'd rather let people call him Byakuya. But yeah, because, well, mostly he kind of realized that Byakuya is actually a better name than Issei Hiro. Because, well, mostly not Hiro, but Issei. Because Issei means first generation. Byakuya means white light. But yeah. Yes, I kind of did search up what the fuck those mean. Because, well, I always realized that Japanese names usually have a meaning. Kind of a meaning, so yeah. That's also something that I kind of did for, what's it called? Mostly, what's it called? For what if Issei was a cousin of Ichigo? I actually kind of didn't change Issei's name. I did kind of made the two Zanpakutos that he has Japanese names and mostly meanings towards mostly something in the sky, but don't worry about it. But not the point. Let me continue on with this. What if I'm rambling on right now? This is where, well, Issei kind of thinks of Byakuya, white light, a very actually amazing name, but he has Issei, first generation, just means first generation, which is kind of dumb for him because he's not a first generation of anything. But yeah, I mean, he's not even the first generation of the Red Dragon Emperor, so it's kind of pointless for him to even have that name. If he wanted to, he would have been like 47th generation of the Red Dragon Emperor or something like that. He doesn't even know how many generations are there with the Red Dragon Emperor, but he doesn't care. So of course, well, Issei has been getting stronger and stronger and stronger, training in secrecy, making sure that he doesn't release any Ryatsu towards anyone. Even though you can't sense his Ryatsu, you can still feel the pressure. Ryatsu is spiritual pressure, so of course you will be able to feel the pressure from Issei if you're close and very close enough to him, because he's holding a lot of it back. Even though it doesn't look like he's holding it back, he's emotionless. He has that Byakuya face. He got that look in his eyes. So, you can barely tell, but yeah. But, we go into Issei right now, kind of, well, just protecting, well, what's it called? Azia. Now, of course, I should mention that Issei does have the sword with him every single time. He can actually summon it out of anywhere, or he can just have it with him like a health, which he does have like in his like belt buckle, and does wear like a white coat most of the time. This is where, well, he's always protecting Azia, and it doesn't matter if any guy or girl gets in his way. Now, of course, when I mean about any guy or any girl getting in his way, I mean any perverted guy trying to dirty his innocent little sister's mind. If he does that, if anyone does that, they're dead. They're literally dead. They're thrown out the window in an instant. Yes, Issei has thrown someone out the window. Literally, it was, well, it wasn't Matsui or Murahama, but it was some guy trying to act tough and trying to get, well, Asia's mostly V card, and of course, just trying to act tough and ruthless and other stuff, which made Issei quite pissed. Now, some of the Kendo girl were actually going to protect Asia, but this is where Issei grabbed this guy from the arm, and of course, just throw his ass out the window. Literally, they were on the second floor, and Issei didn't care. Issei said, "Are you okay, Azia? My sister, are you okay?" This is where, well, Issei had a very genuine look of sadness and scared of Azia getting traumatized. This is where Azia says, "No, Issei-kun." This is where, well, Issei said, "Azia, call me brother. You are my little sister. Stop calling me Issei." This is where, well, Ozia says, yes, brother. This is where everyone would still wind their eyes when they saw Issei literally throw a motherfucker out the window. Like, like, he didn't care. He didn't give two damn fucks. Well, two dams and a sandwich, okay? So, yeah. This is where both Murahama and Matsuo are right now, just right now getting a very scary aura that they were already told and warned about being anywhere near his sister, anywhere near Issei's sister. If they dirty her mind or even ruin her innocence, they're dead. And they can see that. Motherfucker throw someone who was actually taller than Issei out the window and didn't give a damn. He didn't give two dams and a sandwich. He didn't care about anyone's stares. He will always protect his sister. That's how Issei is. He's kind of overprotective of, well, Ozia. Which actually makes everyone scared now. Because if they say the wrong thing or the wrong thing at the wrong time in front of Ozia, and Ozia decides to pick it up, Issei will find them and slaughter them. Because he has a sword with him. Mostly a sword that actually scares them because they don't know if that's a real sword or a fake sword. Mostly it looks like a wooden sword because he had to kind of color it so it doesn't look too scary. But it could be a real sword, it could be a fake sword. No one knows. If Issei has to do it, he might have to shatter the sword. So, or not shatter the sword. Mostly, if you know what I mean, mostly turn into the symbol, mostly the sakura petals. So it kind of looks like it's not an actual real sword. But if he ever has to unsheath it, he will slaughter them. Because you dare ruin his sister's mind, you're dead. Her innocence must be protected at all time. So yeah. So of course, mostly Ozia got very used to just calling Issei brother. And of course, when what's it called, Ozia wanted to take a bath with Issei, Issei had to school her and warn her and tell her about how guys and girls do not take showers, especially when they're siblings. This is where, well, he basically kind of did the Byakuya and scolded her, and basically told her that no, we are siblings, nothing more. This is where, well, Ozia, she was not that crushed because she was still understanding her feelings, but yeah, she felt kind of crushed. But yeah, because Issei does not see Ozia in any sexual way. Actually, he actually stopped seeing any girl in any sexual way. He mostly sees Ozia as a little sister and any other girl to just fuck off. Especially Akiya, or whatever her name is. Akira. Yeah, Akira, I think so. Mostly, I think that's her last name, Kiria. This is where, well, just to fuck off and stop trying to dirty his sister's mind, which pissed him off a lot. This is where, well, mostly I can notice how pissed off Issei is always when she's getting closer to her Ozia. This is where Issei is always in a protective manner, and always in front of, well, Aika and trying to stop her. This is where when Aika tries to kind of make Issei blush or make him just do something when she's like seductive or even trying to, tell him his size. Mostly Issei doesn't give a damn. Literally, he doesn't care. Which actually makes Aika wonder what the fuck happened to Issei. Is this really his sister? Pretty much Issei kind of lied and said that Ozia was mostly an adopted sister, but she was also mostly someone that he will care about. And if anyone dare touch her, he will slaughter them. Yes, Issei made a speech one time like that, which scared the shit of everyone in his grade. Literally, even the other class got scared because if they touch Ozia the wrong way, even just mess with her the wrong way, even talk to her the wrong way and dirty her innocence, then you're dead. You're completely just dead. You're dead to life and you're dead to Issei. So choose one. This is where, well, almost everyone is scared. Even the first years. They realize if they kind of mess with Ozia or Gentle, they're dead. Some of the third years got scared of Issei and his attitude. It changed all of a sudden. When he kind of had an adopted sister, it just changed. He snapped. He became the older brother at this point. He literally became the older brother and a different person entirely. This is where everyone is just scared now. This is where, well, we go into mostly a call from Rias Creamery for Issei and Ozia to get towards mostly the kind of Occult Research Club. Now, of course, Issei, they're kind of told Ozia to come along. And of course, it worked well. He said it very politely. Now, if there was anyone else, he would basically tell him in such a cold manner. Like, literally, he's different. He's completely different. Now, this is where, well, both Ozia and Issei are going to the club research room. Of course, they get to the Occult Research Club room, and this is where, they kind of see Kiba, and Kiba says, "Oh, hey, Issei-kun and Asuya. This is where Asuya-chan. This is where Issei narrows his eyes, but he knows that Kiba isn't going to go after his sister any damn time. Mostly, it's like a friend, it's kind of like a friend relationship." Which Issei nodded with a cold kind of manner, which Asuya just waves at him. Now, this is where, Kiba, he's not getting the cold shoulder or anything. It's just how Issei's personality is. He just nods. This is where, mostly Kiba doesn't understand, but he did get other rumors of like girls getting scared of Issei, mostly instead of like trying to hate on him. Which they can't tell if they should hate on him or just despise him. But at the same time, they can respect him because he's protecting Ozzy and she's a girl instead of being perverted around her. But yeah. Now, of course, Issei and Kiba and even RC are just getting to the occult research room, which when they knock in and they go in, Rias says, you guys, you're here. So we're going to, what's it called? Well, before she kind of explains what she wants, a orange magic circle appears. Now, she'll mention one thing. Rias has already did try to, take Issei's kind of V-guard, which Issei was too stoic and didn't really care. He was already asleep. And of course, when Rias tried to wake him up again, Issei didn't care. Literally, Issei had this savage, mostly not even savage look. It's mostly just too damn tired to even deal with her bullshitness. Which, yeah. Now, of course, that happens, but when she left, he basically went off to train, but yeah. Now this is where, a red, orange magic circle with a fried chicken symbol on it appears. Yes, this is Riser. Riser says, Rias, where I'm here for my marriage. You should come to the underworld already. Blah, 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 blah. He's going on with that shit. This is where, mostly Rias denies him, and of course there's an argument. While Issei is there, kind of having a tick mark with this fried chicken. And of course, and also kind of reminds me of something else. For some reason. But this is where, Ozzy is just there. And this is where, Riser appears for his peerage, of course. This is where also Gracie was there and blah, blah, blah. This is where, mostly everything is going on with just those, high mighty devils kind of arguing. Issei has his eyes closed and doesn't really care. This is where, Kiba has this right now disdain look. Even Koneko, she's not eating. And this is where Akano has a disdain look. This is where Asuya doesn't know what's happening. But this is where, she kind of, like, starts talking. This is where she says, that's not very nice to talk to Rias-senpai like that. Riser? This is where, Mr. Blonde Hair. This is where, mostly Riser kind of turns around to her. And right now just narrows his eyes with such a cold stare. Which Issei notices. But wasn't expecting him to attack or anything. If he does, he will slaughter. This is where, Riser says, What? What the hell do you want, you pathetic devil? Shut the hell up. You're just a low-ranking halfling devil. You're a devil who just got incarnation. You don't know much about us. This is where, Asuya got scared. And this is where, Riser then thinks about it. Oh, this is where, mostly Rias says, stop it, Riser. This is where, Riser says, oh, so you care about her. I see. Fine, what happened if I kill her? I'll make sure that she's dead. This is where, Rias kind of narrowed her eyes, and even was it called Riser has such a maniacal look. This is where Asuya got a scared look, but this is where Issei stand up. This is where his eyes were such a murderous color. This is where something around him appeared. Right now, pressure started building up. This is where Riser was laughing, and this is where something happens to him. He smashes to the ground in an instant. Everyone felt this pressure. The spiritual realms of pressure. Issei said, you dare talk to my sister like that? I shall slaughter you for daring to even talk to her with such a ruthless manner. This is where Riser's trying to get up, but this is where he can't get up. The spiritual pressure is making him unable to get up in an instant. This is where all of Riser's parages wind their eyes. This is where they feel the spiritual pressure, but they can't even get up. This is where Kiba or any of the others trying to get up, but they're unable. This is where Asuya is too scared. But of course, she feels like there's a force field around her. Yes, Issei made what's it called? A Hado or Aikido style mostly barrier, so it wouldn't affect what's it called, Asuya with the spiritual pressure. everyone is feeling the spiritual pressure around Issei. So much of it that both Rias and, well, it's called Gracie can't do anything. Right now, Gracie they're trying to make a ice magic to stop Issei, but of course it shattered into a million pieces. Riser is unable to get up. All he sees is Issei and this very strange, powerful aura around him. His eyes are glowing white. It's like his face is covered black and his eyes are white. This is where, well, that's the only thing that Riser is seeing. It's kind of an illusion. This is where, well, Issei says, "You dare talk to my sister like that. You shall be executed for your crimes." This is where, well, Issei right now pulls out his sword and was about to cut the Riser. This is where, well, Riser actually felt fear for the first time. This is where, well, mostly the sword was drawn out so slow that it actually made him get more fear. This is where, well, mostly Rias tries to tell Issei to stop. But this is where Ozzy says, "Big brother, stop it." This is where, well, Issei stops. The pressure is starting to be released. It's starting to just be, well, put back down. This is where, well, Issei sheathes back his sword back into the scabbard and turns around to see Ozzy and says, "Are you okay? Did that big fried fucking chicken decide to touch you?" This is where, well, mostly, what's it called? Ozzy says, "I'm fine, big brother, I'm fine." This is where, well, mostly, well, everyone is right now able to breathe. Now, of course, Koneko, Kiba, and Akano sees Issei in a different light. Mostly, if he could, he would slaughter them all, but he doesn't because it's mostly Ozzy they're friends with, they're connected with. Now, of course, this is where Rias was surprised that Issei could actually summon such a powerful pressure. It wasn't even magic. None of them could actually use magic at that point because reality was actually destroying everything around them. This is where, well, mostly Riser tries to get up, but he feels wobbly. Like he just decides to feel the power of gravity upon him. But this is where, well, Gracie was actually sweat dropping. This person's right now kind of making sure that mostly the blonde hair is, well, okay. Now, of course, this is where, well, she noticed one thing. When she even tried to use her magic, it was destroyed in an instant. This pressure was too powerful. This is where, well, mostly Riser gets towards his peerage and says, "Ha, you insolent." This is where, well, Gracie stops them and says, "That's it. Rias, I know there was a second," this is where she talks about the whole second plan about how, well, mostly search it is and blah, blah, blah. And of course, there's the rating games. This is where, well, she says that in 10 days or more, the rating games will happen and blah, blah, blah. And this is where, well, Rias nodded. She nodded. She said that would be fine. This is where, well, Riser says, "Well, such an insolent weakling. I don't care. Whatever he used, I was such a weakling. He might just be able to just use some kind of gravity spell on me, but that's nothing." This is where he then summons one of his pawns, mostly the girl with the stick, to rush at Issei. Now Issei turns around, and this is where, well, something shocking that made everyone shocked. Issei was right behind the pawn of Riser. But of course, something happens. 2 stab wounds actually appear in her chest. Mostly, well, behind her. Well, yeah, behind her, in front of her. Literally 2 stab wounds, 2 holes. This is where she coughed up blood. She was unable to even see Issei's speed. Issei was behind her right now with just blinding speed. He used a body flicker that basically Byakuya used to cut off the chain link. The soul link and the chain, mostly the spiritual pressure kind of link and also the mostly chain link. So yeah, but this attack, wait. So this attack was actually 3 holes. Now, well, not 3 holes, mostly 2 holes. Now, these 2 slashes, one cut off her magic, magic entirely, and the other right now stabs out, and of course something falls to the ground in an instant. Mostly like a pawn piece. This is where, well, Riser notices, and of course where, well, everyone noticed the pawn piece, the red pawn piece on the ground. This is where the pawn of Riser, that girl with kind of, well, having that kind of stick, is down on the ground. Issei is right now over the pawn piece. And Issei, what he does is something so disrespectful. He literally just stomped up the pawn piece. He crushed it in an instant. He used enough spiritual pressure on his leg to crush it. This is where Riser widened his eyes. He destroyed the pawn piece without a care in the world. Issei said, "Now it's even. Now the playing field should be even enough, shouldn't it be, Riser? Phoenix. This is where, well, Issei said it with such a cold tone. This is where, well, Riser was actually scared. He doesn't know how powerful Issei exactly is. This is where, well, Riser just shocked to see one of his pawns already dead. And of course, it was only a testing battle, but he wasn't expecting Issei to literally kill her. Yeah, Issei didn't care. Issei said, oh, if you're thinking she's dead, she's not dead. She only lived for a couple of minutes. So, it's better to say your goodbyes. This is where, well, Issei said so coldly, going back towards Azia and seeing her that she's fine. Now, I should mention one thing. Azia had a blindfold on the whole time. Yes, Issei didn't care. Now, when Azia tries to remove it, Issei puts it back on her face, literally stopping her from seeing the sight. And this is where, well, Issei said, now, if you excuse me, I should be leaving. This is where, well, he brings Azia, he mostly grabs Azia from her wrist and, of course, pulls her out of the room. This is where everyone was shocked. Graysby was the most shocked to believe. His speed, his power, his precision, he just managed to surpass everything. This is where, well, she's not even expecting that's human. He's human, exactly. This is where, well, Riser said, who is he? This is where, well, Rias kind of smiles and kind of grins and says, he's the Red Dragon Emperor. He's the new, Susu, whatever the hell it's called. But yeah, this is where, well, Riser won his eyes. He just pissed off the new generation of the Red Dragon Emperor. And, well, Issei doesn't really use the Red Dragon Emperor power, but no one needs to know about that. Well, everyone now knows that he's a Red Dragon Emperor, but they don't know that he's a Soul Reaper. He used to be a Soul Reaper in his past life, but no one needs to remember that or knows about that. But yeah, this is where, well, Azia says, what happened? Big brother, this is where she tries to question Issei. Issei said, oh, nothing. Nothing that should worry about your small little head. This is where, well, Azia did get poked in the head, and this is where, well, Azia pout and say, big brother, stop that. This is where Issei smiles, but of course they just walk away. So of course it worked. Well, mostly a time skip happened. Mostly them going up the kind of mountain. Now of course Rias tries to make Issei carry a lot of stuff. Mostly some stuff to kind of get his pressure, mostly his muscles up and other stuff, which she kind of made him like carry this huge bag like an original cannon. But we go into a time skip of 1 minute. Issei is coming back with a bunch of stuff, like literally a bunch of stuff in an instant. He's carrying more than a huge bag. It's bigger than what's it called, both Kiba and Akano's bag, and that's where Issei is walking so perfectly fine. This is where, well, Ri is questioning what Issei is carrying, a bunch of rocks. This is where, well, both, well, all of them wind their eyes, even Azia. And Issei is just saying, that should definitely improve my strength. This is where Issei is literally walking away, and this is where all of them are just shocked. Issei went beyond their kind of expectations, but yeah, this is where Issei, he's kind of actually running up the kind of mountain pretty fast, which made all of them wonder if Issei's even normal now. He became much more stronger, faster, and actually made them all surprised when he easily defeated one of Riser's pawns, without a care in the world. Like, Issei did it, he had his sword back sheath. Like, it was so fast, he stabbed her so fast, killed her so fast in an instant, mostly, destroyed the pawn piece. And of course, had his sword all back into the scabbard. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's how Issei is incredible. He just hasn't mastered a certain technique just yet. He will master it in 3 days. It might take him 3 days, maybe. But this is where, well, we go into Issei getting up the mountain, throwing all the rocks onto the ground, and of course having the actual real bag that he needed. But yeah, this is where, well, everyone got up there. Of course, this is where Issei is right now kind of practicing on something. This is where, well, he starts saying Kito's names. This is where he said, Kito, number 33, red dragon, red ball. This is where he makes a red ball in his hand and launches it to a target, smashing it and exploding it. This is where Issei, well, not a red target, no, he's not training in Kito. He's just doing push-ups and sit-ups. And this is where, well, Issei realized that they managed to get up. Issei says, you guys are slow. You should be faster. And this is where, well, they say, where's Azia at? Azia's over there, sitting down. This is where, well, this is, this is where, well, Issei said, when I was running past you, I picked up Azia and started kind of running towards this place. This is where, well, Both Akino and Rias kind of wind their eyes because they didn't even see Issei literally pick up Ozia. This is where, well, they can see that Issei is completely different. This is where, well, Issei is right now saying, so, what does training do? What am I going to be doing for training? He asks, well, Rias. This is where it's kind of pointless for him to ask Rias because he knows that Rias has zero experience in battle. But this is where, well, he just asks anyway. This is where Rias says, oh, right, you will be fighting against Kiba. Issei says, okay. Issei right now has his sword out, mostly the one that's the Senbon Sakura. But yeah, the Zanpakuto. This is where, well, Kiba right now has his own sword. He actually created a sword. This is where, well, Rias wanted them not to fight with swords. But this is where, well, mostly something happens. This is where, well, Kiba says, are you ready, Issei? Issei said, how many swords can you have? This is where, well, Kiba says, that's an odd question, but I can create a lot of them. Okay. Then I hope that you can dodge this attack. I didn't use it against Riser because I didn't want him to know about this technique. This is where, well, mostly, what's it called? Kiba says, huh? What do you mean technique? This is where Issei has a sword right in front of him. This is where, well, Issei says, Senbon Sakura, scatter. This is where the sword started breaking to pieces, and right now appearing as, well, blossom petals. Well, mostly cherry blossom petals. Right now flying around. This is where, well, Kiba was confused until Kiba widened his eyes when he felt so many cut wounds all around him. This is where he exploded with blood. This is where Kiba fall down to the ground, but of course having his sword right now stabbed to the ground, making him be able to get up. This is where a little bit. This is where he's unable to actually kind of move. Issei said, I see. I guess you weren't fast enough to actually dodge the technique. Then again, it wasn't perfected. I see. Then it's kind of too pointless to fight you when using that technique. This is where mostly everyone wind their eyes at Kiba. Right now, Ozio rushes towards Kiba and tries to heal him with mostly the kind of twilight healing. This is where, well, she's seeing so much blood around Kiba. Kiba wasn't expecting such a powerful technique from Issei. Issei said, well, that didn't work at all as I expected. I thought you would be able to dodge it and then use your swords to try to block the technique and the different blossoms. This is where, well, mostly everyone can see that Issei is quite calculating in all the things. He thought of this for Kiba to do, and because Kiba was much faster than him, everyone expected. But Issei didn't expect Kiba to be slower than him. This is where, well, Kiba says, no, let's try again. Issei says, no, it's pointless to even try again. You need to improve your speed. Not just, what's it called, your strength, but just your speed. Your speed to summon sword, your speed to run faster and dodge attacks that are much more faster than anything. If you cannot dodge my scatter, then you cannot dodge an attack from someone much stronger than you. Doesn't work. Well, mostly Rias saw how Issei is calculating towards everyone. This is where Issei says, Koneko, you fight me in hand-to-hand combat. This is where, well, Koneko nodded. This is where, well, Koneko rushes at Issei with right now trying to punch him, but this is where Issei dodges too easily. This is where Issei said, your speed is too slow. This is where, well, Koneko did try to punch him again, but this time punching the ground, and then right now breaking the ground up, but this is where Issei right now stands on top of one of the rubbles. This is where Issei said, again, too slow. You need to be much more faster, and right now punching and sending attacks. And right now also being much more faster than a normal rook. You think that just because you're a rook, you're limited to speed? No. You're only limited if you don't believe in your mind, in your body, that you will be much more faster. Exact same with Kiba. But Kiba needs to work much more faster to become the fastest knight. Since knights are supposed to be speed. But yet, he was too slow to dodge the technique. Too slow to react. This is where, well, Kiba is right now being healed by, well, Ozia. And this is where, well, Koneko rushes up, mostly jumps up. But this is where right now Issei sees that she's trying to punch. Issei grabs her, mostly wrist, pulls her mostly up in the air because he also did jump. And this is where, well, he then kind of just slammed a kick down to the ground. Mostly a kick in her back and slamming her to the ground. And then instantly she cannot move up no more. Issei said, you're too slow with attacks and speed. So, work on your attack, mostly your attack speed, your speed in general, and everything else, mostly reflexes and other things. You're too slow. Also, stop hiding who you truly are. I can know that. I can sense that you are hiding something much more powerful. This is where, well, Issei walks away from her. This is where Kaneko, she kind of never expected Issei to actually figure out that she might be a Nekomaru. This is where Issei said that he didn't know what the hell that was, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei says, Akuno, fight me. This is where Akuno nodded slowly. Of course, she didn't say Ara or anything. She's just over here just shocked to believe Issei is much more faster and stronger than them. This is where, well, Issei said, you may attack me with anything. I will now calculate to see if you're faster, stronger, or something. This is where Akuno nodded. This is where Akuno takes to the sky and uses lightning to smash upon Issei. Issei right now kind of just slaps the lightning away, using Rias to make like a armor in his hand, literally just slap it away. This is where Issei looked at his hand, mostly seeing the visible Rias and seeing a little crack. Issei said that was too weak. Use something much more powerful. This is where, well, Akuno starts kind of controlling more magic and lightning. This is where she makes a lightning ball and throws it towards Issei. And now this is where the lightning ball was about to smash him. This is where Issei then uses his hand to grab it. This is where, well, the lightning ball exploded in impact of Issei. This is where both Rias and Akuno was like, Issei! This is where Issei said, do not worry. That was still nothing. This is where Issei sees his hand being singed a little bit. And this is where Issei said, that was too weak. Akuno, you need to improve with your magic attacks, especially your speed. You were too slow in making that magic attack. It was too slow. It's better to use something much more faster during battles. When battles might take longer, then using that might be the lasting to use final result. But you can see it didn't really do anything to my hand, and I used something special for it. This is where Issei did have like this, like what's it called? I should mention he did have this finger, mostly the kind of what's it called? A gauntlet thing that mostly armor that Byakuya has in his hand. He did have it, and it was kind of singed. Not gonna lie, it was kind of singed. But yeah. This is where, well, Issei said, well, you're too weak, you're too slow with the attacks. I wonder how fast is your reaction speed. Akuno was confused until Issei appears right in front of her. With blinding speed. He mostly jumped towards her. That's where Issei, he then kind of grabs her from the shoulders. And of course, where, well, mostly jumped over her, behind her. And this is where Issei right now has his sword unsheathed a little bit, but this is where he kind of lands down to the ground, and of course sheathes the sword back to like mostly scabbard. This is where, well, mostly, well, Akuno turns around, and this is where she felt that she got cut a little bit in her cheek, and her hair kind of did get cut a little bit. Issei says, you were too slow and I could easily cut you into a million pieces. You should react faster with your flexibility time also. You're kind of like Kiba, too slow, and Akuno, too slow, mostly Kaneko, too slow. You should be training with all of that. This is where, well, mostly then he looks at, well, Rias, and then just ignores it. This is where, well, Rias says, wait, what about me? Wait, am I the strongest? Issei says, no, your magic attacks are too slow. This is where, well, Rias says, huh? What do you mean? Issei said, fine, you want to fight me? This is where Rias says, of course. I want to know what I can improve. Okay, first, let me actually tell you an leadership improvement. This is where, well, right now Rias is right now sweat dropping and right now feeling like she's getting lectured by someone who's much more professional in battle strategy. This is where Issei explains a lot of things to Rias, like mostly how her battle techniques are too obvious. They should be much more strategist, mostly making Kiba much more faster and kind of being like the assassinator or this or that. This is where, well, he's kind of going on and on and on and on. And this is where, well, he then kind of explains that she's too kind and less strict, and that's why they are too weak. This is where this, and this. And of course, she's too arrogant half the time, thinking that since she's a high mighty devil, most of the time she will be faster, stronger, and other things, and blah, blah, blah. But that is not the case. This is where, well, mostly she's still too arrogant and other things. It kind of reminds him of when his past life, mostly his past life as Byakuya, was also kind of arrogant and kind of spoiled, because he was kind of like an arrogant ass prick when he got his ass beat by Ichigo Kurosaki. But yeah. This is where, well, Rias nodded. But this is where Rias says, but I will show you that I am stronger than you. This is where, well, she starts sending her destruction magic at Issei. Issei easily dodges right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. He's basically just stepping a couple of feet from mostly all the attacks. This is where, well, Rias says, why aren't you dodging for real? Issei says, because your attacks are too slow. Why would I need to just increase my speed to dodge your attacks? See? Mostly these attacks are too slow and you're using too much magic or energy or whatever because you're right now look like you're too tired. You should make your magic attacks much more smaller but much more quicker. If you add little less magic and send attacks much more faster, you can make the other enemy right now kind of weaken. But that's not good enough. You should stabilize your magic much more because your magic seems to be quite, and I mean quite unstable. For being the destruction magic, I thought it had a stable kind of magic kind of structure. Now Issei can't really tell the magic. He's only telling from the kind of magic attacks. He can't really tell from the magic sorts because he's only like his magic reserves are kind of garbage. Well, he's pretty good in Rias. Magic reserves are kind of garbage, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei is just telling her, and this is where, well, he's also kind of explaining that mostly, like, a lot of things, like, how she thinks that she's too arrogant, and maybe when the first hit hits Riser, she will expect to be quite arrogant and thinks that she will be able to win, but that would be the stupidest idea, and this is where Issei then explains how mostly the first attack will never mean anything, so it's better to go on with different other attacks, to make mostly Riser's an immortal phoenix. Well, the best way is to make sure to shower him with attacks, but of course not get hit by any of the attacks. So reacting with speed will be the best case. Being faster than the enemy is also better. But yeah, this is where, well, Rias understood, and this is where, well, he says that, well, whatever with that. I don't really care in what you actually listen to me or not. Well, but this is where, well, he then kind of just says, oh look, it's already dark. This is where Rias says, oh, it is dark. Well, we should all kind of go eat something. Issei said, I'll cook. This is where, well, Jose says, no, I should cook. Issei said, no, you will not cook. This is where, well, obviously you have palates, but yeah. Now, of course, she didn't even get any kind of scolding or anything from Issei. But this is where Issei said, I'm not good at magic and I'm not good at a bunch of things. So, you just train with Akano. She's quite the most expert here in magic. So, yeah. This is where, well, Ozzy nodded. That's the only thing that Issei basically told her. But yeah. This is where, well, she's a bishop, but she's just a bishop. But Issei will train her in other stuff. Mostly just tell her to kind of do similar training towards Kiba and Konako, but not into an extreme extent like they have to do it. But yeah. This is where, well, Rias kind of exclaims that she's a bishop, but this is where Issei exclaims that even though she's a bishop, she should still train to defend herself. Because even though she might just be a healer, she will still need to train into dodging attacks. This is where, well, Rias kind of was shut down, and how mostly Issei was strict on Ozzy, but not as strict as them. Mostly he was kind and gentle in explaining and why mostly it was necessary for her. This is where, well, Akano, well, kind of saw that Issei is quite much more kinder towards, well, mostly Ozzy than any of them. He mostly kind of sees him more like a soldier. Mostly everyone he sees mostly like a soldier, but he sees Ozzy as an actual little sister, not a soldier, a sister. This is where all of them kind of feel kind of saddened because Issei is quite different, but quite more like powerful than any of them. They could think it's from the Red Dragon Emperor, but they haven't seen the Godling in a while. This is where Issei starts cooking, and of course where Issei starts kind of teaching Ozzy and how to cook. This is where, well, Ozzy was confused, but this is where Issei just explains to her, and this and that, and this and that, and this. And this is where, well, Issei comes back with a bunch of like plate of food, and this is where everyone starts eating. Now, of course, they actually fall in love with the food because it's actually pretty good. Now, I don't know if Byakuya can cook, but I am just saying that he got members of Byakuya from cooking. But yeah, and I'm gonna just say Issei also learned how to cook when he was younger. He was pretty good. He was trained by the best by, what's it called? Gordon. No, never mind. I'm just kidding. But this is where, well, Issei kind of just tells them and whatever. He just kind of like, everyone really likes this food, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly Rias then claps her hands and says, okay, then we should all go to the hot springs. This is where, well, Rias kind of asks Issei if he would like to go to the girls' side. This is where Akanose says she doesn't mind, but this is where Issei declines both of them and says since Azia is going to be there, he says that it's too disrespectful, and this is where he goes on with, we'll see how the guys and girls should not be together. This is where he basically shut down Rias and Akano's kind of idea, and even Ozzy's idea, because Azia did want it, well, Issei to kind of come along with them, and this is where Kanako was actually kind of happy. She was surprised. She was happy and surprised that Issei kind of did something like that. And Issei said, I'll be going to the male side, so don't climb over. This is where, well, Issei kind of gets up and starts walking away. Kiba was kind of surprised also. This is where we'll see Azia understand, and this is where, well, she kind of walk along with the girls. This is where, well, we go into Kiba and Issei kind of being in the hospital. Issei is right now relaxing, and Kiba kind of says towards Issei, so how did you do that with your sword? What do you mean? How do you kind of manage it to kind of shatter and be able to attack me so many times? It's a first stage. What do you mean first stage? Well, the sword isn't normal. Actually, it has a name. And that name is only given towards the person who's worthy to hear the name. Oh, I see. Then, no, I would not tell you its name. That would be too disrespectful. This is where, well, Kiba nodded. He does understand how swords are, and they usually do need, well, some of them have names, and it'd be too disrespectful to even use the names and other things. He understands. He is a swordsman. This is where, well, Issei said, but still, you should probably learn in how to make some kind of weapon that will be able to hurt Riser a lot. Like what? Use fire, right? Then use an ice sword. Use a sword that will manage to freeze him, or a water sword, or some kind of weapon that's kind of able to extinguish flames and hurt him pretty bad. That's where, well, Kiba then thinks about it. That could work. Or you could use, I don't know if this might not work or might work, but it's a worth a shot. Use holy weapons. This is where, well, Kiba says, I can't, I'm a devil. Well, that is true. Then make a holy demonic weapon. What? Is that even possible? It's only a theory. If you can make weapons of any type except for light weapons and holy weapons, then just make something that's a demonic holy weapon. It might be able to work, it might be able to hurt him. This is where Kiba thinks about it. He thinks about it pretty good, but he doesn't like holy weapons. And also, I know that you might not like holy weapons because you're a devil, or you might be traumatized from when you were younger or something, but I do not bother with any of that. The way I see it is, the only way to get stronger to defeat a flying fried chicken is to defeat it with a weapon that will absolutely hurt it a lot. Even though you think you might not be able to make something called a holy demonic sword, then just try at least. If you cannot make it, then just go with the other ideas. Using ice weapon or some kind of water weapon. You do want to protect Rias, don't you? This is where, well, Kiba says, yes, of course. This is where, well, mostly Kiba says, wait, you didn't call her Bachu. Of course not. Why would I call her Bachu? Why? Well, I only call people by certain names. And the only name I'll call her is Rias Gremory to be respectful. Bachu is just her president name. Rias Gremory is her actual real name. Respectful, right? Well, I could call her Gremory-san, but she doesn't seem to like that name. And if I call her just Rias, she probably likes it much better. She seems like someone that doesn't really like being called too formally. This is where, well, Kiba nodded. I see. I see. Okay. What about Azia? What about her? You see her way too much of a little sister, don't you? This is where, well, Issei says, of course, she's my little sister. I always wanted a little sister, kinda. This is where Kiba says, I see. So that's why you kind of overprotective of her. Exactly. if you had a sister, you wouldn't be overprotective of her, right? This is where, well, he says, well, that is true. That is quite true. Actually, very true. I will be protective of her. But you're overprotective of her. Why? Because, well, I never had a sibling, and I never had anyone to protect me. So I want to just give her the best, mostly life of her life, because she has been treated worse. The church used her, which kind of annoys me. The people she thought she could actually trust just use her for her sacred gear. That's also quite pissing me off. And the fact that she died just because of her sacred gear was needed was also annoyment. That's why I will protect her with my life. And will always make sure that she has a better life than anything in this world. That's where Kiba says, you're quite noble for that. Noble. Quite interesting. Quite ironic also. Kiba says, what do you mean? Nothing. So, you just have to train with your swords. Tell them also, but yeah. From tonight to tomorrow, I'll be training alone. This is where Kiba says, wait, what? Why? Of course, I did mention that there are stages to my sword. The first one was, of course, scatter. Mostly a technique that I use to kind of defeat you too easily. But there's other stages towards my sword. Final stages. Stages that will help me in battle. But I will not be able to completely perfectly, but it will be good enough. In only 3 days, I will come back. Maybe 3, or maybe I'll use the last over remaining days to, well, train harder and try to perfect the technique and perfect other techniques. I do not want to be bothered with other people, so that's why I will kind of use the other remaining days to train by myself. You guys already have ideas and what to do to train. I do not need to kind of guide you and kind of hold your hand like a child. You guys are the same age as me. I need to train by myself. Everyone needs to train by themselves to get stronger. But usually training together with other people will be also helpful. But for me, I would be training by myself. Okay. So well, Kiba says, why are you telling me this? Because when tomorrow morning everyone wakes up, you be the one telling them this. Kiba winding his eyes says, wait, what? No. This is where Issei already got up and already left with having a towel around his waist and just leaving. Kiba said, wait, Issei. This is where Issei said, don't call me Issei, call me Byakuya. I like that name much better. It has a nice ring to it. Mostly it's called White Light. So bye. This is where, well, Kiba said, he right now is paling because he doesn't know how to explain this to everyone. This is where, well, we go into the girl side, and of course, where, well, mostly Akano and Rias try to mostly ask Azia if they have showered together. Mostly Azia and Issei. This is where, well, Azia kind of told him no. Basically, Issei scolded her, and about showering together, it's basically too much. Not the good thing. Mostly a girl and a guy should never be showering together. This is where she explains and other stuff. And this is where, well, Koneko nodded. She was actually surprised that Issei didn't take advantage of her. And actually is surprising that Issei does see her more of a little sister than anything else. This is where both Akano and, well, Akano was kind of saddened. Rias was also kind of shocked and distraught. This is where, well, Rias said that mostly towards Issei's parents that it will be kind of like a wife marrying or whatever. So he will get used to having a wife. This is where, well, not Akano, mostly Azia says that is not the case. Also, with Issei's parents, Issei has made it clear that it's mostly like a little sister figure. And of course, to treat her like a sister, like mostly like a child of them. And of course, this is where even though his parents were kids, it makes him really mad. Which makes them unable to, what's it called? Has this usually somewhat pressure. Now that I think of it, he did kind of use the same pressure against Riser, against his parents. He hates him when they call him or this or that. This is where, well, Rias can see that Issei truly sees only, mostly Azia as a sister. This is where, well, she wasn't expecting something like this. actually, she wasn't even expecting something like this. She was expecting Issei to be like an actual pervert, making, well, Ozzy into a pervert, blah, blah, blah. This is where Ozzy also explains in school on how her life has been, and this is where Konoko also explained that the same, mostly Issei has joined a lot of people. And of course, this is where, well, mostly was it called Rias and Akano were kind of shocked. And of course, this is where Konoko kind of told, and also Ozzy said the same, that Issei has thrown someone out the window without a care in the world. Someone much bigger and seemed might have been from the second year, but he might have been some kind of gangster he was thrown out the window. This is where Rias is actually thinking of schooling her kind of servant, Issei, tomorrow. We go into the next day, and when Rias doesn't see Issei, right now we see Kiba sweat dropping. This is where Kiba tells him what happened, and this is where right now Rias has an angry look to her eye. She wasn't expecting her servant to literally go train by himself. Of course, well, he only said that he will never be holding his hand, well, mostly holding their hands like a child, so better to train by themselves. Or train with others, doesn't matter. He'd be the one training by himself to get stronger on his own, and better not to show techniques or reveal techniques towards anyone. But yeah, that's where, well, Rias is right now saddened. She wasn't expecting how Issei's quite different. He's cold, he's different. The only person that he's ever kind to is Azia. Literally Azia. That's all. This is where, well, we go into Issei right now out in the forest. Now, of course, where, well, Rias didn't actually ask in how he's going to eat and cook. This is where, well, Kiba says that he's going to do a survival thing. Mostly he will hunt the food that's in the wilderness and other stuff. This is where Rias is dumbfounded. This is where, well, Akano and the others are also dumbfounded. This is where, well, Ozzy is kind of scared, but this is where, well, mostly something actually happens. A little flower, like Senbon flower petal actually lands on top of, well, mostly, not a flower petal. Something drops upon her, mostly a, like, Senbon, like, what's it called, Sakura flower petal, and lands upon her. Mostly lands upon what's it called, Azia, and Azia managed to pick it up, and of course it doesn't hurt her, it's not the sword fragment, but instead, this is where the thing actually transforms in an instant, right now transforming into a necklace. Right now the necklace is like a little pinkish gem, and of course it kind of looks like an actual Sakura petal, and of course the where, well, mostly Kiba and the others were shocked. This is where, well, Azia thinks it'd be a good idea to put it on. This is from her brother, so of course she puts it on. This is where she says, wow, it's actually pretty. This is where, well, everyone is just dumbfounded. This is where Rias actually wanted a gift also, now that she thinks about it. From not from Kiba, from Issei, but Issei is only protective of his sister, but yeah. But we go into a time skip. A time skip of 10 days later, or mostly, yeah, 10 days later, when they get back to the school. Now, of course, everyone is getting ready, but of course, they haven't seen Issei in a while. They think that mostly Issei forgot about the 10 days. This is where Rias was about to use a magic circle to get contact with the Issei, or tell him to get to school real fast. But then she realized they might not make a magic circle. But before she was thinking, this is where Sona and Sabaki says, we're here. So this is where Sona and Sabaki tells them and how it's going to work and blah, blah, blah. And this is where, well, Rias nodded. And this is where Sona says, where is your other pawn, your AP pawn? This is where, well, Rias gets scared and say, about that. This is where, well, right now Sabaki is looking around, and this is where she kind of, like, was about to close the door, and this is where, when she closes the door, she almost freaked out. This is where, well, Issei was, like, behind that door, and of course, where, well, Issei was wearing this drip right here. He was wearing basically this drip. He was wearing his Shinigami outfit with a white coat and this white hat right on top of his head. Now, of course, I should mention that his hair is kind of pink and black, and this Issei says, yo. This is where, well, Sabaki almost wanted to shout, and this is where Issei said, hey, calm down. This is where, well, Issei swatched off about her. This is where his hair also has become much longer, but yeah. This is where, well, Sabaki is also kind of blushing and seeing this. This is where, well, Issei said, yo, Rias, Sona, I'm here. This is where, well, they said, Issei? Both Sona and Rias looked away because they're actually blushing in an instant because how different looking Issei is. He's the height of, right now, I should mention, well, Byakuya is a height of 5'11", while Issei in Original Canon is like 5'7". So of course, he's going to be the height of 5'9". This is where, well, Issei kind of grow a couple inches much taller. Issei says, "Yo, you girls okay or what?" This is where Sona says, "Yeah." This is where she looks into his eyes. Instead of being a brownish color, is now into a blackish color. Well, kind of blackish, kind of. Well, not blackish. It's mostly, yeah, blackish color. This is where, well, this one actually. Should I? I'm thinking of adding pink and silver to it, but yeah. Actually, his original color for Byakuya should be black. So yeah, it's going to be black, or one of them is pink and silver. Okay, leave me alone. But this is where Issei says, "Yo." This is where, well, both Sabaki, Sona, Rias, and even Akano are right now blushing madly towards Issei. This is where Issei looks completely different. He looks just like Byakuya, but just miniature a little bit. And this is where, well, Issei has his sword right next to him. And this is where, well, Issei said, "What are you all looking at me for?" This is where, well, he then walks past him and says, "Ozzy, are you okay?" Ozzy says, "Big brother, you're here." This is where she looks at him, and of course, just realized to see him more of a big brother than anything else. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei says, "Oh, you're wearing the necklace that I gave you." This is where Ozzy says, "Of course, you did give me this, so I will always wear it. I will always treasure it." Issei says, "Good." This is where Issei sat down and just waited. This is where, well, right now, Ria's heart is kind of beating. Well, mostly, Ozzy isn't really beating. Mostly, she just realized she just called Issei big brother because that'll make him happy. So yeah. This is where, well, everyone is seeing this. Now, of course, Kaneko, she's looking away. She's eating chips and looking away from Issei. Kiba is just looking at Issei and saying, "You look good, I guess." Issei says, "You think?" "I changed my outfit. I decided not to come with the whole uniform outfit. I wanted to be kind of different. I wanted to wear kind of a battle outfit a little bit, but yeah." This is where Kiba nodded. Okay. It kind of made me comfortable, but yeah. Akano is looking away. She is blushing madly. This is where, well, Sona and Sabaki looks at Rias and says, "Is that really your pawn?" This is where, well, Rias says, kinda, yeah." This is where, well, right now, Sona says, "You don't mind trading me, right?" This is where Sona asks what's it called, Rias. This is where Rias looks at her with such an angry look. And this is where, well, Sona says, "What? I'm just saying. You can do it after you fight against Riser, so I'm just saying." This is where, well, Rias glares at Sona. What the hell? No. This is where, well, mostly they're kind of fighting, but yeah, this is where Grace B appears, and this is where, well, they actually kind of, well, mostly get into the battlefield, but yeah. This is where Grace B is the announcer, and both Sona and Sabaki are watching. Of course, Sona has a small little screen of Issei right now, kind of getting ready, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly Sabaki says, "Sona, stop hogging the screen of Issei. I know he's way too different and much more, how should I say, This is where, well, Sona say, you can't even say it. You can't say it neither." This is where they're kind of arguing a little bit, kind of childish a little bit, but yeah, we go into Issei right now, getting into the battlefield. This is where, well, Issei said, "So, what's it called, Rias? Do you train also in your battle tactics, or do you want me to give you a battle tactic?" This is where, well, Rias scoffs and says, "I have trained, okay?" This is where, well, Issei says, "You look more madder. Is it because I left you instead of training all of you? I'm not a freaking parent. I'm not gonna hold you guys like a child." This is where, well, Rias says, "No, that's not what I'm angry about." This is where he says, "Okay, what time to battle strategize?" "Okay, Kiba." This is where he looks at Kiba. He says, "You would go to the forest and start putting magic circles around. Have you gotten much faster so you can do this much more faster?" This is where, well, Kiba nodded. This is where, well, he then said, Akano, you will take the air, and have you gotten much better way of magic?" This is where Akano nodded, and of course, this is where, well, Akano says, "So, what do I do up here? You'll be sending quite powerful attacks. I hope that doesn't really hurt you in your, what's it called, mana, in your mana supply. I hope that will be enough to destroy buildings." This is where, well, Akano nodded and says, "So, I'll be destroying what?" So, in the gym building, me and Koneko are gonna go there to fight some of the pawns, since that would be one of the strongest bases to actually take. Of course, if it isn't blown up by one of my attacks, then you'll be the one to destroy it. Right now, Koneko right now looks at him with a crazy look, saying, "What?" This is where, well, mostly I'm gonna understand. This is where, well, Rias and Ozzy, you will stay here and be the actual king and bishop. Or what's it called? Ozzy, you would be the one to kind of heal Rias if she's ever hurt. Okay. This is where, well, Ozzy, understand. This is where, well, Issei said, well, for me, I will be going with Koneko to fight against anyone that's actually trying to take control of that place. Understand, Koneko? This is where Koneko nodded. This is where, well, right now, Rias says, wait. Am I not the king? That's what Issei says. Yes, but you were too slow in explaining. So, let me explain. This is where, well, Rias is right now glaring at him, and right now she's glaring at him, but with the mad expression of a blush. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei is just going to not really look at her blushing most of the time, but yeah, this is where, well, mostly, what's it called? Rias said, fine, okay, wait, Issei, I need you to lay on my lap for a second. This is where Ozzy looks at Rias with such a confused look. Everyone looks at her with a confused look. Issei says, if you're going to release my palm piece's power, I don't really need to lay on you, do I? You just have to touch my back. It's fine. This is where, well, Rias' sweat drops and gets angry, and this is where she's like, fine. This is where she puts her hand on top of mostly Issei's back, and this is where she releases the palm piece's power. This is where Issei got a power boost, but it wasn't really necessary, but whatever. This is where, well, Issei says, well, it really wasn't necessary for the palm pieces to kind of, well, kind of be activated, but sure, why not? I'll take the power boost. This is where, well, Issei said with such a cold and motionless voice, and this is where, well, Rias is kind of glaring at him. This is where, well, she doesn't know what training, what kind of power he has, or whatever. This is where, well, mostly the battle is going on. This is where we go into Koneko and Issei getting towards the gym. And this is where Issei said, you can take out the bishop, can you? Or not Bishop Rook. This is where Koneko nodded. This is where he will take on the, what's it called, pawn pieces. The pawn pieces are right now getting cocky and saying, oh, so you be the one fighting us. I thought Rias didn't want someone like you. This is where Issei said, you guys are going to keep yapping your mouth, or you're going to guys shut up. This is where they get angry and rushes at Issei. Issei disappeared in an instant. He was gone. This is where they widened their eyes, and they already had cuts. One in the shoulder, one in the other shoulder, and the last one literally having giant cut through his chest, or mostly through her chest. This is where they cough up blood, but they were eliminated instantly. Issei say, quite pathetic. How you're doing, what's it called, Koneko? Koneko already punches the Rook so hard in the face, knocking her out. This is where Issei says, good job. I'm actually quite impressed. You sent a very powerful punch knocking her out. This is where, well, the Rook tries to get up and say, I'm not. She stabbed in the, what's it called, chest by Issei, and say, shut up, you're already dead. This is where, well, Koneko says, I didn't need your help. I could have easily defeated her. It's better to just get rid of her. Well, we should probably leave already. This is where, well, he then kind of contacts Akano, says, exploding now. This is where she does and says, Arara, that's good. This is where Issei is kind of moving out. This is where Issei grabs Koneko, flash step away, and an explosion attack happens. Issei appears saying, you know, that's quite rude for daring to attack, what's it called, my Rook, my junior. This is where, well, right now, what's it called, Koneko kind of blushes a little bit, like she was grabbed like a rag doll, and Issei was the one to do it. This is where, well, mostly, what's it called, the explosion queen say, Ara, I see. So you're that pathetic bastard that hurt, what's it called, mostly she said her name, and this is where Issei said, oh, and I don't care. Good. She said, finally. This is where she gets angry at Issei. This is where Issei kind of goes. This is where he pulls out his sword and say, I, Byakuya Hyoto, shall eliminate you in an instant. Scatter. This is where, well, he doesn't say scatter. He says Kero, or not Kiba, not Kero. He says Kiro, number. This is where, well, Issei says Haro, number 33. Way of destruction. Haro, Kui. Mostly, he sends such a powerful attack of blue. Mostly it looks lightning attack, and it smashes into the queen. This is where the queen widens her eyes. The power literally just smashes upon her and easily just smashes her into the ground. Issei said, quite pathetic indeed. Mostly Koneko widened her eye. The power, the blast radius, it was just destructive in its nature. This is where, well, Issei said, well, we should be going, Koneko. Koneko said, what about her? she's already dead. This is where mostly the Bomb Queen tries to get up, and this is where, well, she's trying to use her kind of magic, but it feels kind of disrupted. This is where, well, she was confused. This is where, well, mostly something appeared right in front of her. It was none other than Issei, but it seems to be like sakura petals actually appear, making Issei, and this is where Issei had a sword. Issei says, "You should be gone." This is where, well, Issei right now cuts her in an instant. Well, Byakuya. But yeah, it kind of looked like Byakuya. And easily just cuts her in an instant. This is where the announcer named Grace says, Riser's queen has been eliminated. Everyone widened their eyes. Even what's it called, Raffle and the others. This is where they say, what? No. Riser says, that can't be. This is where, well, Rias widened her eyes. This is where she says, this is my chance to fight against Riser and prove to Issei that I'm not weak. Come on, what's it called, Ozia? Ozia says, okay. This is where, well, we go into Issei right now going with the other battles. Right now, Kiba easily defeated his own, and of course, this is where Akino is kind of trying to get to her queen, but yeah, this is where, well, she noticed, well, what is Rias doing? This is where she tried to ask her if this is a good idea and what Issei thought about. This is where, well, Rias comes and says, let's just go. This is where, well, mostly they're going, mostly trying to sneak around, but yeah, this is where Issei kind of already felt, or mostly someone said in his head, you know, that queen of yours is quite reckless. This is where Issei scoffs. This is where, well, mostly Koneko notices and says, what, are you okay? Issei says, no, I'm not okay. Rias is right now kind of being too dumb and too arrogant. It's so annoying. I knew if I defeated the queen too easily, she would think it would be a good idea to attack Riser. Like, hurry this up. This is where Issei pulls out the sword this time. And of course, this is where, well, Issei appears towards the enemy base. There's so many people actually appearing right in front of him. This is where Issei says, scatter. This is where all the sakura petals literally appear in front of all the bishops, well, what's it called, rooks, and even knights. Even Raffle was there, and they all started bleeding. This is where Raffle, luckily her Phoenix, Phoenix powers managed to save her. But everyone else was eliminated in an instant. This is where, well, Grace says, this is where she says all of them were just defeated. Mostly the pawns, the bishops, the rooks, and knights. Was some of them that were still alive, but what's it called, Raffle? But yeah, this is where, well, Issei says, Kiba, if you hear me right now, get to the base of Riser. This is where, well, he nodded, and this is where, well, and also remember what I told you last time. Get towards, well, Ria's Grimary's side right now. Right now, she's being too arrogant and too stupid. And also, Rias, if you hear this in the intercom, you're quite too arrogant and stupid. Do you not know that this was the stupidest move I ever heard? You're supposed to be the king, and we're supposed to stop the other king. This is the most stupidest and reckless shit that you ever decide to make. This is where Rias says, screw you. I'm basically your king, and you're just a servant. Issei says, oh yeah, I'm just a servant. Well, guess what? The servant had a better fucking plan than you. This is where, well, Rias is getting angry. This is where she stops the intercom. This is where she destroys it, but yeah, he says it's scoff. This is where Koneko is just seeing this, and everyone is seeing the crossfire. It's quite a toxic relationship they have, which they don't have a relationship, but they think it's quite toxic as hell. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei sees Raffle, and this is where Issei says, you didn't die? Fine, just die already. This is where Issei says, Haru, number. This is where, well, this is where Issei says, learn despair already. Haru, number 90, Black Coffin. This is where Black Coffin appears around Raffle, and this is where Raffle, when the Black Coffin disappears, she was already just cut into a million pieces. This is where she was eliminated. Luckily for her, Phoenix healing is kind of healing her slowly. Raffle Phoenix has already been defeated. Riser, when he heard this, and widened his eyes. He wasn't expecting this. His own sister just to be defeated by a mere human. He sees what's it called, Riser. And Riser ignores Rias and her peerage. And this is where Riser flies towards Issei and says, you bastard! You killed her, didn't you? Issei said, of course. This is where Issei pushes Koneko out of the way. And Koneko says, this is where she says, Senpai, no! This is where, well, Issei right now pulls out his sword and right now slashes at Riser's chest. Riser says, you think I will lose too easily from you? I'm Riser Phoenix. I'll defeat you. Then I'll take Rias as mine. I'll make sure you pay. This word, well, Issei said, you can take her, whatever. I would just stop you right now. I'll make sure I crush your hopes and dreams. Because even though Rias is a stupid, spoiled little brat half the time, this is what Rias was up there kind of hearing this, and this is where Riser says, damn, I wasn't expecting you to literally insult her. But she is my sister's friend, and that I will respect her choice. Rias says, I'm the one that literally saved you, and saved Asia, and then you're just gonna disrespect me. The only way that you will ever save me is by Asia's. This is where nothing but Rias says her head is nothing but anger and annoyment. Then Issei just disrespect him. At the same time, literally said that she will only be saved thanks to the fact that Ozzy is her friend. That's all. No more. This is where, well, mostly Riser says, I will kill you. I'll make sure you're dead. I'll burn you alive. That's where Issei said, I know. You can try. But you will never be as strong as me. I, Byakuya, Hyodo, would stop you now. This is where, well, mostly Sona is seeing this, and this is where, well, she is blushing seeing Issei. He's truly a type of person that she's interested in. This is where Sabaki's noting Sona, and this is where, well, she's also hesitant to blush. But this is where Issei takes off like his hat, like his white hat, and puts it down to the ground. And this is where, well, he also takes off the white coat, puts it down to the ground, tells Konako to kind of take it. And this is where, well, Konako does take it, and this is where she almost falls down to the ground. It's actually weighted clothes. This is where she said, what is it? They're heavy L. Sorry if you couldn't actually handle that. Those are weighted clothes. Well, it's time for our battle, Riser Phoenix. You will be defeated by me. I, Byakuya Hyodo, will defeat you in an instant. And I will make sure you're dead. This is where, well, Riser says, I'm immortal, you cannot kill me. Even if you try millions of times, I will not die. This is where, well, Issei just says, you're quite arrogant. I guess all devils are arrogant as hell. Then again, I can't talk about myself that much. Issei thinks about himself that much because he knows in his past life, he was quite arrogant as hell until Ichigo came out of nowhere and beat his ass. So yeah, but he doesn't care. Issei pulls out his sword, and this is where Issei says, scatter. This is where multiple cuts appear on what's it called, Riser. Riser says, do you think that would be all? This is where he then gets a slash in his what's it called chest. This is where Riser won his eye. He tries to jump away, but every time he tries to get away from Issei, he's nothing but cutting him multiple times. Every time in the chest, arms off, cutting them all off. And this is where Riser's saying, damn it, I'm using way too much energy. My regeneration is getting slower and slower. No, I won't lose. This is where Riser jumps away. And of course, this is where he then drinks a Phoenix tear and says, I won't lose. His flames get hotter. This is where Issei says, I see. So that's what the Phoenix tears can do. Fine. Then I will have no other choice but to use this. This is where, well, Issei, he kind of grabs his sword, but grabs it from the back of the handle. And this is where, well, mostly the back of the butt of the handle and putting it facing down, mostly to the ground. Issei says, he drops his sword in an instant. Right now, disappearing. The sword is disappearing in an instant. This is where everyone winds their eyes. Bankai. Senman Sakura. Kagyu. Senman Sakura. Kaganesh. This is where, well, mostly the sword disappears, but multiple huge swords started appearing around a line straight towards Riser. And Riser widens his eyes and says, what the hell? This is where, well, mostly, what's it called? Well, Issei kind of says, this is where the swords started disappearing into sakura petals. This is where, well, Riser says, what the hell are you? What the hell are you? This is where Issei said, who am I? I am Byakuya Hyodo, your executioner. This is where, well, Riser is right now all around his body, just getting cut multiple times. His regeneration is just getting slower and slower every time. He's being cut down so easily, smashed to the ground by getting lifted up and then smashing to the ground by the sakura petals. This is where, well, he can't even fight back. He's really getting defeated left, right. Everyone that's watching this is nothing but shock. Issei said, do you now understand the true power of you and me? I am much more powerful than you expected. I am much more powerful. I am not a devil. But I can do this. This is where Issei lifted up his right hand. And this is where he says, Drake, now. Drake says, don't you think it's be over here, but whatever. Boost! Second liberation. Mostly the godless second liberation. This is where it says boost. This is where the sakura petals become much more ferocious and starting to cut, well, what's it called, a riser. This is where Riser says, no, do you not know this is the best for... Shut the hell up. The best for your fucking race? I don't give a damn. Boost! This is where, well, all you hear is nothing but just murder and destruction. Riser cannot be, Riser's being defeated like a weakling. Boost! This is where Riser cannot take it. This is where he tries to use his heat, his flames, the last bit of flames that he has, but nothing is actually coming out of his body. The regeneration, the flames of the phoenix, all his magic is depleted in an instant. Thanks to the fact it's just regenerating, taking mostly all the magic is taking his regeneration. Time and time is slower and slower. So Riser says, no, I can't die. This is where he managed to get away from the sakura petals using his last bit of magic. This is where he's making the last bit of magic in his hand, a white ball of flames. And this is where, well, I will annihilate you at once. I will kill you at once. I won't die by you. This is where, well, Issei said, too bad. This is where, well, Issei grabs the sword, mostly a sakura petal sword. This is where, well, Issei says, final stage. This is where, well, he says the final stage of, well, his kind of Bankai. This is where, well, Issei's right now, swords all around him appear thanks to the sakura petals, but this is where, well, one of the swords actually appeared right in front of him because he grabbed it, and this is where it turned white in an instant. This is where he says, Senman Sakura, final scene, white Imperialist sword. This is where white wings appear behind him and a white kind of ring actually appears. So it kind of looks like this. This is where, well, Issei said, it's time for defeat. You will lose, Riser Phoenix. Boost! This is where, well, mostly everyone's watching this and everyone's winding their eyes. Right now, Rias is seeing the power between Issei and Riser. It's not even comparable. Right now, Issei has the more power. Issei didn't lose that much power, so yeah. That's why, well, he says, bring it on, Riser Phoenix. Your what's it called? Executor is here to execute you. Now, bring it. This is where Riser says, I won't die! This is where Riser is right now rushing straight towards Issei with a white flame ball. Issei, right now, flies up in an instant, right now with blinding speed, and says, too bad, but you will have to die. Who cares about your race, about population? You're dead. This is where, well, mostly Riser says, die! Issei said, as the head of the family of the, what's it called? This is where Issei says, as the head of the family of the QC family, I will defeat you! This is where, well, Issei appears right in front of Riser, swinging the sword straight towards Riser's chest, slashing him in an instant. Riser couldn't even use his white flaming ball because Issei used the gauntlet to grab it. Even though it was hurting his hand, Issei uses the booster gear to boost his Rias. So right now destroy the white flame ball in his hand and uses a sword to cut down Riser. Riser was no more of a match because Riser fall down to the ground, having a huge slash that could not be regeneration by his flames because he's no longer having that much magic. Ugh. Riser falls down to the ground like the pathetic weakling he is. This is where, well, Issei is right now up in the air having his wings and his sword still with him, with his, what's it called, gauntlet in his hand, still boosting him. This is where, well, Drake says that was the most unnecessary and the most anticlimactic kind of situation I've seen. Issei, this was the most, basically the most unnecessary battle for you to use the boosted gear. Didn't you say you won the battle? I should shut the fuck up half the time, shouldn't I? Yes. Fuck you. This is where Drake says reset. The gauntlet right now resets. And this is where Issei right now flies down. And of course land upon Riser. This is where Issei says, you're not dead. It seems that I should eliminate you at once. This is where Rias says, stop Issei. No, stop killing him. No. It's not necessary to kill him. This is where everyone wondered eyes when Issei literally was just going to execute him. This is where, well, Issei said, fine. I guess mostly Ozzy's friend decides to let your life be arrested. Fine. You will not be executed for your crimes. This is where Issei right now dispels the final scene. And of course, this is where, well, it goes back into his sword. And this is where he sheeps it back into the scabbard. This is where Issei said, hey, Ozzy. Ozzy is right now rushing to him and says, big brother! This is where she's hugging him and crying. And this is where Issei says, there. I'm fine. This is where, well, mostly, everyone is kind of happy. And of course the floor is cracking. This is where everyone's falling down. This is where, well, or mostly just getting back towards the place. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly back into the double world. This is where Issei passes out upon Ozzy, and Ozzy finally holds him. So of course, this is where Kiba's like, "You okay?" This is where they're basically holding Issei, and Issei just passed the fuck out. This is where Rias says, I can hold him." This is where Ozzy is saying, "No, I will hold Big Brother." Rias says, "Fine." This is where, well, she has a tick mark and she's just like walking away. But yeah, this is where, well, we go into a festival look, mostly a kind of nice festival, or kind of a celebration. Mostly Rias has no longer needing to marry Riser, but of course everyone that's there is kind of shocked to hear about the bishop, or not bishop, mostly the pawn of Rias' Grimmery, mostly the Red Dragon Emperor, and also mostly they call him Byakuya, which isn't his name, but Issei managed to keep saying his name is Byakuya most of the damn time, that they basically said, fuck it. His name is now Byakuya because they don't actually know about his actual name. Which Rias tried to correct him, but they said, nah, it's not named First Generation, it's White Light, since he kind of showed that true form. This is where, well, Rias says, God damn it, Issei. This is where she's having so many tick marks, but yeah. This is where she's just there. Of course, this is where, well, Kiba, Akano, and Konako are wearing something nice. Even with the Sabaki and the others are there. This is where Sanji says, God damn, I saw that battle. Oh, hell no. This is where Kiba says, are you okay, Sanji? No, I'm not okay. If I hurt, Azia-san right here, I'm going to die. Did you not see the power that he just displayed? He beat the shit out of Phoenix. I'm screwed. I don't have Phoenix powers. Even if I did, I'm going to be screwed anyway. This is where, well, right now, he's right now down the ground. This is where, well, don't worry, Azia might be fine. This is where Azia came in, of course, wearing a nice dress that doesn't really show that much stuff, and it's kind of green. This is where, well, she kind of is walking next to her brother, and her brother is basically wearing this. So my man is wearing this. Basically, black pants, a black belt with kind of that symbol, and of course black kind of shirt, or mostly coat, white kind of button up like shirt, and of course the two buttons on top is kind of like not that button up. And this is where he's right now having a ring in his finger, mostly in his middle finger. And of course this is where, well, he's having his hair down instead of, he did have like these white stuff, mostly these white things on his hair that, well, wasn't really on his hair, no. Well, it was, but similar to that of like actual Byakuya, like kind of wearing this on top of his head, but it wasn't. Well, I mean, it was during battle, but yeah. And of course, he's not wearing that no more, but yeah. This is where he says, so, do I look bad or good? This is where, well, I was gonna say, you look great, brother. This is where he says, it's good. This is where, well, everyone is seeing this. Now, of course, some of the female devils are literally blushing and literally about to fall down. Just because they're just seeing Issei. He completely looks different. Now, of course, he doesn't have his sword with him. But it doesn't matter. He would definitely use Aikido against anyone who dares to even touch Azia. He will fuck them up in an instant. This is where, well, Azia says, hey guys, are you guys doing okay? This is where, well, everyone says, yeah. This is where, well, Sona, Akano, and even what's it called, Konako and also Tsubaki are looking away. This is where Rias, her face is all red. This is where, well, mostly someone say, boo. So, I can't believe you actually fall in love with your pawn. That's interesting, Rias-chan. This is where, well, mostly, Rias-chan. This is where Rias turns around and sees none other than her big brother and her, well, mostly his, like, wife. This is where, well, Rias said, no, that's not the case. No. That bastard, no, I would never fall in love with him. This is where, well, mostly, Sir Sexy, sure, I will believe you. This is where, well, mostly, Sir Sexy makes a speech and about how Riser was defeated, and this, and this, and this, and of course, this is where, well, mostly Sir Sexy goes up to, well, mostly Issei, And Issei is right now protecting his little sister against anyone that's looking at her, which there's tons of people, but Issei right now scared the shit out of them with his spiritual pressure. And that's where, well, they were just shocked and right now not trying to piss off the new Red Dragon Emperor. They're like, no, never mind. But yeah, Issei right now was making sure that Ozzy was safe. This is what, well, mostly, what's it called? Sorzek says, hey, what's it called? Byakuya. Issei said, yes, do you need something? Yes. What is your wish? Thank you for saving my sister. What is your one wish? That's where Issei said, for Rias not to get married by, well, Riser Phoenix. Uh-huh. Is there anything else? No, not really. Are you sure? Like, you don't want to have, like, your, own harem or something? Not really. Really? Yeah, not really. I don't really care. The only thing I care is about protecting my sister here. And anyone that dares to try hurt her, I will slaughter them. There are some people that actually were getting dirty looks from Issei. Mostly some of the perverts that were seeing Ozzy on the different lights literally looked away. They were like, oh shit, never mind. He has basically a sword threatening us and want to kill us. Never mind, we should have not looked at her. This is where, well, mostly, Sorzek says, huh, interesting. Is that the only thing that you would like? That you would care to like or anything? You know you can wish any, wish, right? Issei said, interesting. Any wish. Could I rise people from the undead? That's a word, bro. Mostly Sorzek says, no, that's a limit right there. That's where Issei kind of scoffs and says, fine. Okay. My wish is, What is your wish? 2 favors. This is where, well, Mr. Jack says, okay, fine. 2 favors, just 2? Okay, fine, make that 6 then. This is where, Mr. Jack says, I gotta say, okay, fine, I would just keep 6 then. Okay. Then we have a deal. This is where, well, Mr. Jack says, okay, then he's going to overthink it. I can't believe he didn't want a harem. Mostly any guy would want a harem. This is quite shocking. He's quite an interesting kid. And quite powerful. This will work well. Issei is still next to Ozzy, making sure that no one dares to even look at her because they're dead. They're literally dead. This will work well. Issei said, wait. This is what Issei thinks about. I can use one of the figures to literally stop being a devil. This is where Drake says, no, Issei, stop. I know that you want to literally get away from Rias, but is it really necessary? Yeah, I can. I can always just dodge or just flash step away from her most of the time. You're a dick, you know that? She's so beautiful and yet you're just a prick. Hey, I don't want to be anywhere near a girl that's quite arrogant as hell. Man. Fine, whatever. And I'll make sure that even if Rias is living with me, I'm going to make sure that Ozzy is nowhere near her because I don't want her mind to be corrupted by the devil. Okay. Yeah. Now, let's go on with life. This is where, well, mostly Issei was called upon Sir Sex to kind of ride along with Rias on the griffin. Issei says, that's the most interesting bird I ever seen. It's not a bird. Well, fuck you, Drake. What is it then? A griffin. Fine. This is where, well, Issei is on the griffin. That's where Rias and Issei are just looking into the sky. Issei is looking around saying, wow, this shit looks actually great. This is where Rias said, Issei. Issei said, before you say anything, are you going to try to kiss me? This is where, well, Rias said, maybe? No. This is where, well, Rias says, why not? You saved me from Riser. Issei said, yeah, I did. But that was only because your sister wanted me to get saved. Okay, I heard it multiple times. Good to know that you actually finally remember it. Screw you, you bastard. But not just because of that. This is where, well, Rias says, wait, what? That wasn't the only reason? No, I saved you because you were like a friend of mine. And I saved you because also, you saved me from that fallen angel at one time. And I wanted to repay that debt. So I did. So there. This is where, well, Rias understood. She kind of nodded, blushing a little bit. Of course, not gonna kiss, but yeah. He says this, but other than that, we should probably be going. And I'll be disappearing from this, like, giant bird. This is where, well, Rias says, what do you mean? Issei jumps off, but this is where he's flying without kind of, well, using, how should I say, using wings. This is where, well, Issei says, see ya. This is where Issei flies away, but yeah. Well, mostly when they get back to the human world, but yeah, he flies back to his house. This is where Rias blushes, gets angry, he gets annoyed. But yeah, Issei is getting back to his house, and this is where I'm gonna leave it off for part 1 of this what if. Yes, what if Issei was a reincarnation of Byakuya I can never say his fucking last name, but yeah, you get the point. Also, I should mention that one thing. His final kind of form did kind of waste him a lot of energy, so he would not be able to use the final scene. He also didn't use second scene, but he did use Bankai. And Bankai isn't perfected, actually, I should mention. It still wasted a lot of energy, but yeah. That's why he was using boost to keep it up. Yeah. It wasn't necessary, but it was necessary because he likes just bullying people. No, I'm just kidding. But he was just really wanting to beat the shit out of Riser for the one reason that Riser dared to cuss at his sister and threaten her. So there's where he decides to send all his anger and beat the shit out of Riser. For sure. But other than that, yeah, I'm gonna leave it off here. Also, if you're mentioning why I made him have pink hair and black hair, it's because, I don't know, it kind of fits Byakuya. I don't know why. I don't know. It's probably because the Senbon Sakura is mostly reminds me way too many times of a Sakura like cherry tree. And no, it doesn't remind me of Sakura, the useless one from Naruto. No, it reminds me of a tree. So yeah, pink. Now I have no clue. But other than that, I'll be ending it off here. And yeah, bye. I gotta be doing stuff. And I realized I gotta really be doing stuff. But I did it for 1 hour and 41 minutes. That's probably the longest video in this channel that I have done. In my other channel, I think I remember doing a video for 2 hours. I don't remember which one was it, but I remember it's 2 hours something. But other than that, bye, see you, and yeah.